course, arbitration dates being set now. You take a look at some of the notable RFA forwards out there right now, and some of the names that you see on this list that at least jump off the page, guys like Matthew Barzell, and how about a guy like Pierre Dubois in Columbus? Let's start with Barzell.
Yeah.
What do you think the number is going to be, the ask is going to be, and do you think they come to terms ahead?
What his numbers could be. So even if they've gone down a little bit, he can talk about the sacrifices he's made to be a better team player and the success that they've had while he's doing it. And it's not hard to look into the Islanders and say, look at all the stuff that Barzell does that nobody else does on this team.
Right.
Like, there's nobody even plays remotely close to him as far as the zone entries, time of possession, chances generated. Nobody. So he has an extraordinarily strong case to get a new contract. He's also a confident kid who doesn't want to take less than he deserves, nor should he. That's a good thing. And so for him, is that 8, 9? I mean, it would have been 8 or 9 last summer. What is it now? We'll see what the pandemic deflationary impact has been, but it's going to be a big number. It's going to be 8 or 9. I don't think he gets to 10, but in that range, and he'll deserve it. He's at the right age, and his production is only going to go up. I mean, I think a point a game is almost the baseline of what he does now. Yeah. He's just so very consistent and such an important player for that team and that franchise.
Yeah, and when you take those reins off, man, can this horsey go. So still one of the most fun guys to watch in the NHL. You mentioned a big number, and when it comes to cap space, Columbus has that big number, but a lot of it is being saved for a guy like Pierre Dubois. Where do you think he comes in, and what kind of impact does he have? He was a guy drafted high, top 3. Yep. Took some time to develop, but man, is he here and he's living up to the billing.
He's a very strong two-way centerman. My question for his contract becomes, what's his offensive ceiling? He's a good offensive player, unquestionably a good offensive player. Is he a great one? Barzell's a great one. Can Pierre Dubois get 30 goals and 80 points? I'm not sure he can. I think he might cap out at a very good 25-goal, 65 to 70 points, and being physical, and being hard to play against.
I want on my team in the playoffs.
I want him on my team right now, but I don't know if points get you the most money, if he'll be able to push it into the Barzell territory because of his offensive, not limitations, because he's not quite there offensively as one of the very best in the league. But in the sevens, for sure, long term, he's that kind of player, and just a nasty player to play against. John Tortorella, Columbus really like what he does, as they should. But the offense, the absolute high-end ceiling of the offense might limit his contract just a little bit.
All right, those are the forwards. Let's take a look at the notable RFA defensemen still standing out there as far as what it looks like. So you got Ryan Pulock, Tony DeAngelo coming off a great year, Mikhail Sergachev, Vince Dunn, Devon Taves, and Eric Chernak. Yeah. A couple of those guys just won a cup. Let's go with the guy right in the middle, Mikhail Sergachev. Coming off the entry-level deal. He's got a cup. What a fit he was down there in Tampa.
He's so good. And on some level, I know offer sheets are not common, but if there's ever going to be a guy to do it for, I mean, I would be so very tempted, because you could get him under that 8-5 number, in the 7s, 8s, whatever, knowing that he's going to grow into a #1 guy. Now, he won't do that in Tampa because he's got Hedman ahead of him, and Ryan McDonough takes a lot of tough matchups, but I think offensively he has it. He's got the ability to
team with not a lot of cap room.
I understand that, which leads me to believe that I think he doesn't get that big contract now. I don't think he goes term. I think he goes bridge, because they don't have the money to give him the $7 million he will need to sign for 6 or 7 years. He can do everything. And I think just being around Victor Hedman, big, tall, rangy, left-handed shot, who's the best defenseman in the world, you see him picking up stuff off Hedman's game. You see the way that he's closing gaps better, some of his outlet decisions, timing when to jump up in the rush, timing when to get involved on the cycle. It's all gotten cleaner and better, and he's still so very young. I love him as a player. I just don't know with Tampa's cap situation with him and Anthony Cirelli left to sign. They haven't shed enough salary just yet. How high they can go, I don't think they can go as high as they want. So probably another bridge deal. Maybe he has to buy a 2-year, and it will be in the 4s, 4 to 5 range. But on a long-term deal, he's a $7 or $8 million guy. He's that talented.